Good Friday, everyone. Today is obviously Friday, April 18th, and today we will cover the trades for YieldMax funds, TSLY, Coney, Nvidia, Misty, AMZY, PLTY, this, that, the other thing. All right. So I'm live again, obviously. I heard a lot of positive feedback, a lot of negative feedback, and the main negative feedback was the quality of the video. But I'm zooming in, so hopefully, I understand it was too small to see on yesterday. So hopefully the zoom is now helping the view. But you guys can let me know. I did 150% on Google Sheets. All right, so let's get to it. So obviously on the screen, these are the intraday trades. Yesterday was Thursday, but the market's not open today. So obviously, yeah, they closed everything. So we'll try to do our best to cover most, if not all of the funds, and then go over some of my options, how my options trades kind of, ended up for the week. And obviously, since we're live, I have the chat up on a different screen. And if you have questions, I'll answer them as we go. All right. Sound good? Even though that was a complaint yesterday as well. But again, I don't go live often, so I want to take advantage of the, the live conversation. Not necessarily like a live Discord. I'm not brave enough to do that yet, at least this early in the morning, but at least I'll do the live chat. All right, so just look at these trades, man. Look at TSLY. I mean, are you kidding me? Even ORC had a bunch. Aptly, Nvidia was out of control. Netflix, Coney, MSFO, AMZY, blah, 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 blah. Then Misty, of course, has the most, well, outside of PLTY and some of these other, basket of funds. But PLTY, a lot of action here. And again, it's just easier to cover it on the spreadsheet. But all we really care about is how much did we pay to close out the trades, right? So right here, you see 7 cents, 24 cents, look, that's good stuff, right? And of course, I don't know if you guys remember, but yesterday I had to, well, they didn't post the trades and I didn't even update the trades when I did the video. And when I updated these trades, I noticed Misty did have trades the day before, only like 4, which is fine. But so I had to go back and add them as well. So double the work yesterday. And that being said, if you do not mind, please take a moment to hit the like button if you guys enjoy this content. All right. All right. Let me head over to the chat. No questions yet. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you all for being here. We have about 44 right now. I know this is not the normal time, so some people are probably going to be pissed off. I try to give you a day's notice that I'm going a little early. So hopefully it was enough. All right, so here's Misty. Let's get to the Misty file, though. Again, it's just so much easier. Again, this also has a zoom. Yesterday was the 17th, right? So we have 900 contracts that they added to the 104 synthetics. They added to the 330, and the 330 is actually above the current MSTR price. So what does that mean? That means they actually got paid a credit. So in the beauty of me being on live, I'm on the computer, I can actually highlight. So you can see the credit 1.2 million, which is pretty sweet. Green means profit, red means loss. Yeah, technically. So however you want to think of it, obviously to me, when I say the buy call, I call it an expense, right? Because expense of doing business, right? And then obviously, yeah, this is a credit for opening that position. But between the two, 1.2 credit, 1.2 mil. All right, sun's up early, and so is Rod. Yeah. Well, I'm always up at like, well, today I decided the reason I wanted to go live, I wanted to sleep an extra hour, so I woke up at 5 today. Usually it's 4. All right, so that's the synthetic 330. Again, this synthetic, like the others, expires May 16th, and it's 3.88% away from profit. Woohoo! All right, we got the synthetic 290, just chilling, doing well. To synthetic 270, synthetic 260. We don't really have to talk about those, though. Ignore the color coding mess, but let's just see how MSTY did yesterday. Again, let me know how the view looks. If it's blurry, I'll look into it further. Again, I'm using, what is it, StreamYard, which is not cheap, by the way. They raise their prices ridiculously, I guess, because they can. But I would assume they have better options on HD quality. All right. So yesterday, MSTR had a good day. They went up 1.78%. MSTY had a better day. It went up 1.92%. I mean, you can't ask for much more, right? But yeah, I mean, it's a thing of beauty. It's beaten the underlying the past 3 freaking days. I mean, even this day, it didn't beat the underlying, but it wasn't that bad. I think I woke up the little one. See, the problem with me going live and the little one's still asleep, his room is right above my office. So in my voice, I can't really talk any lower, but you know, whatever. All right, so let's see. Any other questions? It's a hell of a lot better than this. This is the laptop. So I don't know. Not sure what you mean there, but anyway, let's go to the holdings real quick because we can't actually. You know what? I'm sorry. We have to go to the closures. What did they close out yesterday, and what were the? How much did they make? How much did they lose, etc. All right, let me get the proper situation here. What do I? All right, so they had a bunch of 310s. Those, unfortunately, yeah, not. I mean, the MSTR was at 317, so there's nothing you could do. They paid 690. They let it go, you know, as far as it could. So, and they lost money, but it is what it is. Here you see over here for the ones yesterday, they lost about what 1.6 plus $1 million overall. But you know, they didn't lose many others, but the 310, yeah, obviously they lost that one. Let me keep going. And again, I'm able to click this sell, which I think is pretty helpful too. So here's a sold call, 2,500 contracts. Again, they got so much money for opening this. It's almost like I don't even believe it. So 312.50, if you look, you know, again, we closed at 317.20. So you'd consider that a loss normally. Nope, because we got a massive credit somehow. So we won that trade, 1.6 million overall in income. The 340, easy win right there. Boom, boom. And then going down the line, what do we got here? 312.50. Another one. We got a pretty big credit opening it. So overall profit, which is pretty good. However, we did have a credit call spread. They did buy a call. That cost them 117. And I did not show that they made any money closing it, which is possible. I've seen that before. So that overall netted to be a loss of 279,000. All right, let me keep going. You guys can let me know if you have questions as we go. All right, let me. I'm checking the chat real quick. Then what was the question? No, yesterday I used the laptop, and I didn't have the zoom in, the proper zoom, and I was told they can't see it and it's blurry. So my question was, is this zoom good? The zoom percentage, and is it blurry or is it clear? That was the question. All right, looks better. There we go. Than yesterday, readable on my phone. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I zoom in anymore. It's probably just going to be a bit much. All right, so let's go to the next trade. They closed a 325 strike price. Oh, I have to remember to take like the comment down. All right, 325 strike price, 23 cents to close that one. Again, because MSTR was at 317.20, which is below that strike price. So that's a win. They won about 5.8. If you take out the net of the insurance, they won about 4.1 million. The 332.50, obviously higher than 325, so it costs cheaper to close, 7 cents per share. And then you can see over here the net profit, 701,000. A little less profit though than the top one because less number of contracts. All right, let's keep going. Process. I'm just going to ignore the long calls. We care about the sold calls here. Let me get everything on the screen. All right, here's the well, here's a bunch of 317.50s, right? I think I was getting a lot of questions, like a lot of from Reddit, from Twitter, from uh, Discord about 317.50, which I was like, I don't know, I didn't even look. But anyway, they had a bunch of 317.50s. So everyone was asking, did they close? It was like 350 or 345. Did they close it? Yeah, of course they did. Guys, they have to get these trades through. So I'm sure they're closing it much earlier in the day. They can't risk letting things expire. So if you look here, there's 5,000 contracts, 5,008, all different kinds, right? So how much did they pay to close the 317.50, right? That's the question. Well, let's look. MSTR cost 317.20 at the end of the day. So obviously at the time, it cost, well, there's some time value, of course, since they didn't close it at 3:59 with 59 seconds, there's going to be time value. But for the most part, it's intrinsic value, which is the gap between the price, 317.50, minus the MSTR price, right? So that would have been like what? 316.94, approximately around there. So yes, they closed it for a win, 56 cents, 63 cents, well, no, that's not that one. 63 cents, 63 cents, and 63 cents. So overall, yeah, they won their 317.50s. This batch, they made about 7.7 mil. And then this batch, they made about 13.9 mil overall. When all said and done. Again, it's after all said and done. They got the credit up front, right, last week when they opened the position. But they, when they closed it out, obviously it was very cheap to close out. So they kept the majority of that profit. Hopefully that makes sense. Again, if you have questions as we go along, we're live for a reason. It's easier to answer the questions live versus on the comments, type it in comments on the freaking YouTube. All right. And then there's a 330 here. That's a clear win, 7 cents to close that one. So no brainer there. Let me keep on scrolling here. What we got? Oh, skipped one. What the hell? All right, 500. Well, who cares about that one? 7 cents. That's not much money. 96,000. They won that trade though. This is, I don't know. It's black for a reason. Again, like I said, I screwed up some things last week, and yeah, it's all fixed for this week though. So let's continue. Here are the trades I missed yesterday. So they closed out 6,000 contracts and they opened new ones for one freaking day, by the way. They opened these on the 16th. Again, these are the trades that didn't post. And they opened a 1 DTE. And I made a post about this yesterday. Do you guys think they earn their 0.99% expense ratio? It's the things like this where I say yes. Very actively managed. Are you kidding me? So the fact that they did that, they made $1.9 million in a day's work for 6,000 contracts. I mean, it's pretty cool. So I don't know. So these are all the trades for next week. And where I was heading before is the holdings tab where I can show you the summary. Actually, let me check the chat first. Good morning, Shumard. Wow, that's a lot of trades. Yes, LA. Yes, it is. Reddit told me SMCY was best for Group A. How do you feel about that? I mean, I don't know. I have the here's Group A, right? What do we think? Where's SMCY? There it is. Is it best? I mean, Feet and 5E are probably going to be overall a safer option. I don't know. I'm going to say no. If I was to choose something, maybe top 3 here. I mean, you hope YBIT does better, honestly. TSMY seems like a good option. And again, I like Feet and 5E. I know that's 4, but there's several I would choose. I would choose SMCY over TSLY probably though, because I just don't like the way Tesla trades for this strategy. That's just my opinion. But again, I don't know about Snowflake enough. I know they're an IT company and whatever, but I don't have enough information on them to make a statement like that. All right, anyway, so here's the holdings. Oh, let me take down the question. Here's Misty Holdings. For some reason, Left over are the 417s. There's 3 of them. But again, that happens sometimes. And we saw, right, the long call weren't, some of them weren't closed. Maybe they let them expire. And yeah, they're allowed to do that, right? Because they don't have to use these right away. You know what I mean? These, the sell calls, yeah, they want to roll them. They want to use the money. They want to use the time value over the weekend. 3-day weekend, hell yeah. They're going to use all that time value and make us maximum income here. So these are the positions we need to look at for next week. We got a 330, 335, 337.50, and a 340. So 4, 5, 6, and 7% out of the money. Is that safe? That's the real question. Is it safe from getting blown through? It all depends on Bitcoin for the most part, unless MSTR does something smart or stupid. We don't know. We don't know. All right, so let me go back to the weeklies and close out this this part of the video. The outstanding shares did increase by 475,000, FYI. And if we go to the recap, we have a 30-day IV of 73%. Outstanding shares, 128 mil, 850,000. Total net income is 44 mil. Total distribution, 35 cents. Total daily income, 4 cents. Daily yield, 0.18%. And if you annualize that, sucker, 5 time. WCW, heavyweight champion. Who says that? Go, answer it now. But yeah, 66%, not bad. Reaction, freaking numbers everywhere yesterday, man. Numbers. Thank God I didn't have baseball. Group D declares, is that big enough? 19 days. But I guess that's kind of how it looks like on the phone anyway. It looks gigantic for me right now. All right, let's go to the payment information. So far, synthetics produce a loss of 12.6 mil. Weeklies produce an income of 44.9 million. That comes to 35 cents per share. By the way, so far, 30 wins, 15 losses. And let's throw this into the Rodimeter. Rodimeter says, all things being equal, we would get paid $1.09 or a 67% yield. IV says $1.20 or a 73% yield. We go to the last 2 payments, $1.37, $1.33. So those payments would be a letdown. I am not thinking we're going to get paid this low. I feel like Misty's been on a pretty good tear and things are going to get even better. But what the hell do I know? All right, the value of the Misty fund is 2.7 billion, by the way. It's almost at 3 billion. The NAV is 21.22 and the trade price is 21.23. Synthetics are worth approximately $1.72 per share. And as far as contracts, they hold 84,715. They're using all of them for covered calls. No, duh, they always do. And they're only doing long calls. They're only doing the insurance, the call credit spread on 46,355, right? So that means they're doing credit call spreads on 54% of the positions, all right? All right, so that's Misty. Now we can go back here. Any questions on Misty, actually? I have to go to the chat too. I don't know if I missed any questions. Let's see. Looks like they're winning some decent trades. Yep. TSLY from AM and LA. You always have TSLY, didn't you? How do they pay $2 in previous months, but hovering above $1 per share? How do they pay $2 in previous months? What does that even mean? What's hovering above $1 per share? I mean, they probably paid over $2 to keep it simple because the NAV, the price of the fund was higher, right? They probably made enough synthetic income to support that. Don't know if you meant it. Coney declares twice this month, but will pay twice next month. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's going to happen. I believe it's once a year for all these. So let me keep going down. I have a small position in TSLY, concerned about earnings. Honestly, I didn't even know earnings was next week, and I'm here I am trading TSLL. Yeah, Carl, I know I gave you guys a day notice, but I need to do an hour earlier to get it done. before work. Yeah, you never know. All right. I'm going to continue. Oh, sorry. One more question. Thanks a lot for your efforts. Are you going to cover IMST? I can't, man. I mean, although tomorrow, I don't know. Right now, I'm one video a day. Tomorrow, I don't have a video to do, right? Because I'm covering this. So I don't know. Maybe I'll see what I can put together for tomorrow morning. I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe I'll just go live and we'll just talk about whatever. We just do Q&A. That'd be something we could do too. All right. So anyway, let's get to it. TSLY trades. People watching this after the live are going to be pissed like about all this, but you know they should like the live interaction too. TSLY buy to close, buy to close, buy to close. Penny, penny, penny. 2 cents, 3 cents. All right. So the summary of TSLY is they won all of their trades. Let's see if I highlight all of this. That's $10.9 million in income from yesterday. Wow, that's pretty good. Now, if I go here, I know the group's value. Wow, so far, oh, come on, what the heck happened? TSLY K3. Oh, here we go. See? Acting up. Are these working? All right, something's going on. Refresh again. All right, we may have a problem with TSLY, but going down the line, they did make $10.9 million yesterday. And I was trying to show you the group's value before it got screwed up. And they have made 15 million. I don't know why this one's not zoomed. 15.6 million so far from declaration date, which is pretty good. All right, so that's super annoying, and it kind of screws me up for next week. But since the this file is not updated, let's just talk about how TSLY performed yesterday real quick. Tesla performed. It went. Oh, where's the zoom? There you go. All right. So Tesla went down 0.07%. TSLY went down 9.19%. Yesterday was ex-dividend day, so that is why. And again, sorry for the file screwing up on me, but I'm not sure exactly what happened. But what I'll have to do is I'll have to tell you what the new trades are doing. All right. So here we go. Short sale. Highlight this column. So they opened, buy to close a penny. They closed out the old strike, right, of 260, 250. They rolled it to a 260, 250 for next week, 425 expiration. And that is 8.75% out of the money. All right. Another buy to close. Again, they paid 2 cents on that, and they rolled that strike price from a 265 to, guess what, 265. Again, all they did was change the expiration date, and they made $2 million on that transaction, and it is 9.79% out of the money. So I kind of like that. Again, buy to close here, 3 cents. They closed out to 267.50, and they rolled it to a 260. So this one, they rolled the strike price down and out in expiration, obviously, to 425 next Friday. That is 7.71% out of the money. Buy to close here, 2 cents. They closed at 265, very cheap. They rolled that sucker out to a 425 expiration, 262.50 strike price, and that is 8.75% out of the money. So again, these are some of the trades for next week. We cannot see all of them due to, oh, it's back up. We can see all of them. So here's what they have for the week. They have anything from 257.50 to 270. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 11% out of the money. So they are scattered-do. And we'll see how the week progresses. Again, market is closed today. Market is closed, obviously, Saturday, Sunday, and then we got 5 days for next week. But a lot of news can come out. A lot of things can happen, whether positive or negative, over these 3 days, which is why typically if they trade options over the weekend, they should get the appropriate juice, as they say, in premium for the risk. All right. There is the total net asset value of TSLY, 845 mil. The NAV is at 741, trade price 740. Their synthetic is worth 54 cents per share. Pretty good. 30-day IV for Tesla is 72%. IV estimate is 41 cents. And income estimate is 14 cents. Group A declares on, what is it? May 14th, 26 days away. Great. All right. We will continue to go down the line here. And when I get to Nvidia, I'll take a look at the chat. By the close, 2 cents. OARC won their trades. They opened a new trade, 47 strike, 15% out of the money. OARC holders, you should love that. That's a nice room there. By the close, 8 cents. This is Aptly. They chose a new strike price. They rolled it to 202.50. Only 2.82% out of the money. But again, it's Apple. Apple don't move much. So hopefully that one can hold up. All right. Now here's Nvidia. But I want to take a look at the chat because, after all, we are live. So you have to appreciate the people that have come here bright and early, right? Once the market recovers, business as usual. Thank you for becoming a member, MN Silver. Real quick on the membership, I have the support Rod option and then the Rod Wolfpack. And I apologize to the Rod Wolfpack. I haven't really been posting much for the Wolfpack. But I do appreciate people being a part of it. It's really just to support the channel, to be honest. But if people have suggestions, let me know. I was there with you on X Space. You are doing great, as Misty is doing. I would request you cover IMST. You were there with me on the Wolf Financial Space I did, I assume. Will there be a Rod services on Easter Sunday? Well, there's going to be a guesstimate video for sure. Well, yeah, I will. I mean, guys, I get up. The reason I'm able to do videos, I get up at 4 in the morning typically, and I post it before anyone even wakes up, or I try to. Typically, they're awake when I'm done. But another new member. Thank you, Ganga. We're on a roll here. All right. I love it. That man says thank you. No, thank you. Thank you for being here. Yeah, man. I asked on the Twitter space the other day. You gotta do it, man. I told Jay and Mike, they were on the call, or the whatever you call it, the space. GME is now a Bitcoin play. Bitcoin play, volatility. Again, are they taking out debt to buy Bitcoin? I don't know. Like, what are they doing? Either way, it's going to be more and more volatile now. All right. Misty scheduled to declare 5-7 a week. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. They can close early, they can close whatever. We'll see how, but the synthetics are doing well. And things can change though. All right. What do you say? Most traders are up very early in the morning. I love the game. It's a hustle. Yeah, man. Dude, Ulti weekly pay is amazing. Rod, you got to try it. The juicy. Well, yeah, I added Ulti to my weekly dividend car account. All right. Anyway, let's continue. Nvidia by the close, penny, 2 cents, 1 penny, 1 penny. I mean, Nvidia won all their trades. No brainer right there. And they made a lot of money yesterday, right? So now that I'm on the computer, let's see how much income they made. This is recognized income, 10.6 million. Cha-ching, show me the money. All right, but let's see how, these trades look for next week. Again, they have 2 synthetics, a 95 and a 110. Nvidia is at 101, so doing pretty well. We'll see how that goes. And here's the new trades for next week. I think we have the proper zoom. We got 3 strikes, 106, 107, 110, 4, 5, and 8% out of the money. I got myself a little heater in here, and I'm sweating. But yeah, so is that safe? I mean, who the hell knows, right? We don't know, but it's kind of scattered-do. It's kind of set up nice. The value of the Nvidia fund, 1.2 bill. The NAV, 1414. Trade price, 1411. Synthetic overall, still in the negative, but it's okay. It looks like they're catching up. 30-day IV is 54%. IV estimate is 60 cents. Income estimate looks to be negative. We go to the group's value here. Yeah, so it's all right, is what it is. But it may have been from their prior synthetic or whatnot. But declaration date is next week. So yeah, they're group B. All right, so 5 days on April 23rd. So we'll cover that then. All right. AMZY's next, but we want to go through some of these trades. Phoebe bought a close, 1 penny. They won that trade, and then they sold a call for next week. 520 strike, 3.69% out of the money. Not much wiggle room, but again, it's Facebook. How much does Facebook really move? Netflix, I think did they have earnings yesterday? I believe they did well. I'm not sure. But ouch. I mean, this is bad. By the close, cost them $24.32 to close out the 980. Yeah. Wait, what? 980 strike. It closed at 973. This does not make sense. I don't know what happened here. Their strike was 980. I'm showing Netflix closed at 973. How would they pay that much money to close that position? That's weird. Was Netflix up earlier in the day? Well, I guess this would tell me. Let's see their new strike. Okay, so their new strike is 1,046% out of the money. I mean, 6% of the money is not insane for Netflix, but I don't know. I got to move on, though. Coney. All right, what do they do? Well, I guess AMZY didn't have a trade, so we got to cover AMZY first. AMZY kind of closed out their trades yesterday. They have 2 calls, 182.50, 185, 5 and 7% out of the money set up for next week. Their synthetic 190 is still behind because Amazon's at 172, but it expires on May 16th. The value of the AMZY fund is 222 mil. The NAV is 1445 and trade price 1447. Again, the synthetic is in the negative, but the 30-day IV of Amazon is 46%. IV estimate is 52 cents. Income estimate is 22 cents. Again, that's from the group's value, which is declaration date, and it'll carry up to the day before the next declaration date. So AMZY shows an income of 3.3 million. This is just from their trades, which again comes to 22 cents per share. Group D declares again on May 7th, 19 days away. All right, now we can cover Coney. Buy to close 10 cents. Buy to close put. I guess people sold out of the fund, so obviously they're closing out of one of the synthetics. Here's buy to close, a call, 4 cents, 9 cents, 7 cents, 7 cents. So yes, Coney winning their trades as well. If you highlight all the trades from yesterday, how did they do? That's 9.6 million in income right there. So show me the money. All right, so Coney is holding 3 synthetics, a 160, 185, and a 220. Coin is at 175. So yeah, they're playing from behind. Borderline gold digger status. Lucky for you, I probably won't sing that. Now, the calls for next week, let's just make sure the expiration date, 4/25. They have 3 strikes, 182.50, 185, 187.50, 4, 5, and 7% out of the money. I mean, with coin, that's not necessarily safe, but I mean, again, let's get through the weekend and we'll see how next week goes. The value of the Coney fund is 935 mil. The NAV is 732, trade price 731. Synthetic is in the negative, as we said, so we can't really talk about that too much. We'll just let it play out. 30-day IV is 71%. IV estimate is 40 cents. Income estimates in the negative total. But Group C declares in 12 days on April 30th. Up next is SMCY, but let's get through the other trades first. Let me check in on the chat. Verona, thanks, Rod. Thank you. And Netflix was above 980 a couple times yesterday. Okay, so then that makes sense. The people demand more singing. Yeah, man, I know. Let me see. All right, MSFO, what do we got? Buy to close, 2 cents. They won that trade. They opened a new trade for next week. They sold a call, 425 expiration, 380 strike, 3.32% out of the money. Microsoft, not bad. All right, Zomo. Wow, yikes. This was a 103 strike. It looks like they closed at 106. So, yeah, they had to pay money. Looks like they lost that trade, and they lost this trade. So not a good day for Zomo overall. Looks like they've had to pay out $1.2 million. This is even with opening the new trades. So obviously, yes, it was very expensive to close out the old because they blew through the strike price, which again, I mean, it happens, you know, and something like that, that's good for the synthetic position, whatever it's at. All right, let's look at JPMO. Buy to close, 2 cents. They did well. Their strike was 240. Obviously, they closed at 231, so they did well. Sold a call next week, 237.50 strike, 2.39% out of the money. Pretty good. For those of you that are watching live, there's 111 of you. Do you like that at the end of the week I go through every ticker for the most part, outside of those, the fund of funds ones and the zero DTE ones? Or should I just go over the ones that are the main ones that I already cover? Let me know. And let me know, you don't have to be live to answer that question either. All right, buy to close 1 penny, buy to close 1 penny. So obviously AMZY won their trade, and then they sold a call for next week. 91 strike, 4% of the money. Same one on this, 91 strike, 4% out of the money. So no scattered there. PayPal, 1 cent. All right, they won their trade. They sold a call for next week. 63 strike, 3.28% out of the money. XYZY, buy to close, 2 cents, 2 cents. Won their trade, open a new trade. 56, 3.9% out of the money. 55, 2, and close gap there. XYZY, XYZYX. Murney, buy to close, 4 cents. They open a new trade, 26 bucks, 5% out of the money. AIYY, what do they got? Buy to close, penny. They won their trade. They opened a new trade. Strike price, 20 bucks, 3% out of the money. Yeah, and then it looks like they had to close out some of their synthetic, which turned out to produce some income, which is pretty good for them. Misty I covered, thankfully, right? And then we got YBIT. So let me see some of the comments here. I asked if they like the additional cut. Yes. Yes, I like. Yes, because I'm shopping. Where are you shopping? Oh, my God. And what time is it near you? Yes, I definitely like. Since he mentioned live watchers, we only have 18 thumbs up. You know what to do. Yeah, thanks for looking out. Hey, yo, Slee. Yeah, I noticed it really works if I mention it in the beginning of the video. If I do not, I don't get as many thumbs up, but it is annoying. And I know. You watch a YouTube, the first thing, just hit that thumbs up. I know, I get it. Believe me, that's why I don't. Yeah, I always say it at the end, because by the end, most of you clicked off anyway. But the people that hang up to the end, that they're gonna probably hit it anyway. So it probably does me no justice. But anyway, here's YBIT. Buy to close 9 cents. Buy to close 1 penny. Yeah, they won their trade. They opened a new trade for next week. Strike price 50 and strike price 49.50. 3.61 and 2.57% out of the money. Crash, we don't go through. Pain in the ass fund. GDXY, what they got? Buy to close, 3 cents. Obviously, they won their trade, and they sold a call. 52 strike, 2% out of the money for GDXY. Not that big of a cushion. Here's SNOY. Someone said SNOY's the best in Group A. Let's see. 11 cents. They won their trade, and they sold a call for next week. 150 strike, 4.58% out of the money. Not bad. ABNY buy to close, 5 cents. ABNY won their trade. Pretty easy stuff here. And then they sold a call for next week. 117 strike. That's 3.82% out of the money. Again, not terrible. Here's Fiat and Dips. We'll skip right over them. And then we got YQQQ. We'll skip over that. Here's TSMY buy to close, 2 cents. And then buy to close, 2 cents. So yes, they won their trade. And then they opened to 160 and where's the other one? 157.50. So 3.8% out of the money and 5.44% out of the money. So again, kind of scattered, some room there. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right. We finally got to SMCY. Buy to close, penny. Buy to close, penny. All right. Obviously, they won their trade. New strikes here. They got 33.50. But, we'll cover that in the sheet. Let's get to the sheet. All right. So here's SMCI. They went down 1.21%. SMCY went down a little more at 1.69%. So, yeah. Let's take a look. Actually, I wanted to check the 2 days live. Yeah, I mean, it just worked out, man. Too early. This guy will only give me a thumbs up if I sing. All right. Good to know. All right. So SMCY, they have a $35 synthetic, and SMCI is at 31. So let's let that play out. Here comes the garbage truck. I think I put it out. Yeah, I did. All right, good. Selling calls here, 33.50, 34.50, 36, 6, 9, and 14% out of the money. So yeah, that's a pretty good gap right there. I like it. The total net assets total to be 116 mil. The NAV is 1778, trade price 1772. Synthetic, it's in the negative, so let's skip through that. IV is under 100 now. It's at 95%. IV estimate would be $1.31. Income estimate, they're kind of getting destroyed there. I think that was because of their synthetic. Group D declares in 19 days on May 7th. Up next is your boy PLTY. Again, they had some trades here. Let's take a look. Buy to close, a penny. That was it. And then they sold a call, 98, 4.5% out of the money. And then they sold another call. Oh, because they got 500 additional contracts from the synthetic up above. 98 as well, 4.5% out of the money. So let's take a look at the PLTY files. Palantir went up 1.14% yesterday. PLTY went up more at 1.31% yesterday. So some good stuff right there. PLTY's synthetic is at $80. Palantir price is at 93. So their synthetic is kicking ass. And their calls for next week, 97, 98, and 105. 3, 4, and 11.96% out of the money. And guess what? The 105, the 11% out of the money, is the biggest position, 20,537 contracts. So if you own PLTY, there is a lot of room that you can capture if it does go up, next week. You can capture a lot of that upside. Those calls are way out. That's good. The value of the PLTY fund is 209 mil. The NAV is 59.31. Trade price 59.44. Synthetic is now worth $8.88 per share. Absolutely freaking awesome. 30-day IV. The 30-day IV, 89%. IV estimate 410. Income estimate, it's in the negative. It's okay. And Group D declares in 4 days on April 22nd. All right. So, I want to show you before we go with the rest of the trades, the group value. So again, Group A reset, just so you guys know, I'm capturing it as of declaration date, because if they declare the prior distribution on declaration date, they're not counting that income. So I'm going to count that income here as of 4/16, and I'm going to capture it until the day before the next declaration date, which I assume I just did plus 27, should be 5/13. So you can see right now, Crash made money, GUI, so far, everyone's making money, right? Except for Zoma. We saw, why they lost, but, so far so good for Group A. And then obviously we have Group B. I'm going to do a guesstimate this weekend, but, overall, this is not much is going to help me for my estimate. I can already tell. All right, let's keep going. Actually, let me check the chat real quick. Good morning, Carlos. All right. Dan Cross, I appreciate you doing these breakdowns. All right. No, thank you for watching, Dan. Thank you for the feedback. It is appreciated. Yeah, it is. Some days it's more work than others. But again, I love options. I love doing options and talking about options. So if I can ever go live like this, believe me, I will continue. And I again, I just cover YieldMax because they're the fund, right? Who's taking them down? No one right now. And people seem to love Misty. So Misty is, and I love Misty too. So to me, it's a no-brainer to make that the focus point of the video. All right, buy to close 2 cents. They won that trade. They sold the call for next week, $13 strike, 2.69% out of the money. Carvana fund, buy to close 20 cents, 79 cents. They won their trade. They sold a call for 225. That's 6.43% out of the money. And then 227.50, that's 7.61% out of the money. So yeah, Carvani doing well. Ulti, look at these trades on Ulti. They're on, it starts at row 306 and it ends, where is it? 381. And then you got Biggie. And then you got LFGY. I mean, and then you got the 0 DTE. It's a lot of stuff, man. It is a lot of stuff. These trades are freaking crazy, man. So, yeah, that is the YieldMax fund. And thank you, Carlos. I appreciate that. Good morning, Randy. Yeah, it's always windy over here where I live. And do you still do the dry series? Don't remember seeing any lately. No, I stopped because I only do one video per day. And they cannot make the cut because they are just the extra content. When baseball season's over, because again, I coach 2 teams for my son. I'll try to, I will try to get back onto that. So, we'll see. Again, I can't do any more than 1 video per day at this time. And it's just a decision I made, and it's been working out. Obviously it's not good for my channel, and some people, they miss that series. I get it, but it is what it is. So hang in there for now. Again, if the demand is there more than this kind of stuff, then we'll do that over this, right? Anyway, so that's the update on YieldMax and all the funds, all the trades, all this, that, and the other thing. Again, the market is closed today. We have 3-day weekend. Well, I don't know if you guys are off. Let me know if you're off in the live chat, by the way. My job's open. And we'll have a full trading. Well, yeah, I assume it's Easter Monday it's open, I assume. But should be 5 full trading days for next week. All right, now let's get into my options trades. So far, what are we? We've been going live about 48 minutes. That's not too bad, right? But let's get to it. So guess what? In my options account, in my retire now account, I did sell most of the underlyings except Misty. And I wanted to add Misty. I wanted to add 100 more shares of Misty. So what I did is I sold a put, which it was barely out of the money. Misty yesterday was at 20.96. I sold a $20 put, and guess what, guys? You know what the expiration date is? 5/2. You know when Misty declaration date is? Well, let's see. No, it's not on here. Let me check AMZY. 5/7. Okay, you get it? You get why I did that? So that way, if I get assigned, boom, I'll get the shares 5/2. Boom, I'll get the next distribution the next week. Perfect. So here's what's going to happen, right? If Misty ends up under $20 by 5/2, I'll own 100 shares at $20, which for me, great. That's perfect. Fine. I'm happy with that. I want that. If Misty closes above $20 by 5/2, then this expires worthless, and I get my collateral of $2,000 back. The reason I did this is because I was able to collect 50 cents per share or $50, which ended up yielding me on an annualized basis 60%. So instead of buying the Misty shares outright, this is what I did. And again, every time I want to add more Misty, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go 1 month out, and I'm going to let the expiration date, I'm going to pick the expiration date before the declaration week. And that way, if I get assigned, then I want the distribution right away. Hopefully that makes sense. Let me know if you guys do something similar. So let me just check through the comments here. Oh, lots of comments. Wait. Of course, off, but not because of Good Friday. All right, so you had to take off, or you just off. Just asking, does your computer program not summarize? I mean, the new one that my IT friend did, it does, but since I'm on the computer, I can do that for you. Hold on a second. So if I highlight all the trades from Ulti, this is just for yesterday, they made 1.1 million. I don't know if that answered your question, but there you go. All right, so I covered I have to finish going through the questions. The nurse artist is off. Are you an actual nurse? I don't know if we ever asked you that, but off every day since I'm retired. I lost what? Oh shit. Hope everything's okay. I mean, sorry to hear that. I mean, what happened? It's Saturday every day when you retire. You look like the guy on Twitter. Is that the same? You the same person? I forget the name, but working thankfully. What the TNA says nice. LA. I know, man. You're like me. We're just always working. Great. My older son's up, so there's gonna be noise. I retired from engineering to be a caveman and carve rocks. I like it. How's little Rod? He gets his cast off Monday. Thanks for, well, I hope he does. He gets his cast off Monday. Thanks for asking. By the way, that whole thing with my crappy insurance cost over 5 G's in medical bills. You gotta love this freaking system, man. You said 1 month and what before the expo? Well, I've said I sold a put on Misty the Friday before the week it declares the next distribution. So that way, if I get assigned, I do qualify for the distribution. Yes, I'm overnight private duty. Okay. Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. I hear. I think they get paid much better. Work accident. Crushed. Oh, man. Brutal, dude. You get a permanent disability? No rest for the wicked. All right. All right. So I'm well caught up. Let me continue my option. Let me know if you have any questions on my options as I cover my options. So here's TSLL yesterday. Let's see what I did. Yesterday was what, the 17th? TSLL, it was at what, 773. I sold a call over the weekend to the next Friday, $10 strike, 29% out of the money. I mean, you think that's safe enough? The delta was 17, so still pretty close to 20. It did pay 15 cents per share or $15, and it yielded me 88%. So the closeout for the week, the numbers for TSLL, I did make approximately $89, which we'll go through the totals at the end. But as far as 417 yesterday, I had a call, $10 strike expired yesterday. Did TSLL close above 10? No, it closed at 766. So this expired worthless. So now I can sell calls on these shares next week. And then I have a put. I had a put, $7 put. If TSLL closed below 7, I'd have to buy those shares. It did not. It closed at 766 right here. So this expired worthless, and I got my $700 back. So these are done, right? I talked about them. It's over. What I do, I gray them out, as you can see. And then now we focus on, and I hide them too. We focus on what's left. And that's this. This is what we got. We got 4 trades going for next week. Again, we're not sitting around crying the blues because the market's down. We're going to make money. We're going to make money in the market, regardless if it's up, down, all around. Who gives a crap? All right, let me turn off this heater again. Let's go to NVDX, but let me check the chat because we are still live. The premium is higher after dividend day. If you're willing to wait a month or two, you can bring cost basis down. Yeah, no, I mean, but the more further you go out, I notice it's not really worth it. for that time. Like when you annualize that yield. I guess that's one. Well, George, keep in mind that was just for one trading day, although most of the trades do happen to close on the expiration date, but they could have done more trades during the week where they did make additional money. So keep that in mind. Behind the live and not pissed, LOL. Enjoying the interactivity. Well, that's good. You don't want to piss off JJ. Here we go. Not it depends. Good morning. Oh no, just so secure. Oh, okay. And oh, damn. Wow. Still, man. Sorry to hear that. What'd you do with the money? By Misty? All right. Anyway, let's go through NVDX. So this one got very interesting. NVDX actually tanked this week. And the $7 one, I had 2 calls at 7. I didn't have to roll them. I let it expire. So these expired worthless. So now I have 200 shares for next week with no call. So if NVDX goes up Monday, I can sell calls. I didn't have to roll. The $6 one I had to roll because NVDX was still at 637. So that was a call that I had to do a rolling order and close out the where is it? Close out the old here, and then here's the new. And I got what 27 cents per share, or $27 for rolling that. So as long as I'm still getting premium for rolling that, then I'm just going to keep rolling it until it's gone. Because again, I don't care if I trade NVDX anymore. However, I just greedy bastard that I am. I'm like, you know what? Let me sell a put for $6 at the same time. What's the worst that'll happen? I mean, it tanked pretty bad this week, and the odds that it stays below 6, I think, is slim, very slim. Look at the delta, one. So obviously degenerate play here slightly. I only got 28 cents though, $28. But look at that yield for the money, right? For $600, that's cheap. So that's a 212% yield. For the week, I made $55 in premium for this fund, and I will gray out now these expired trades because we talked about them. Makes sense? Great. And yes, I will share this spreadsheet once I'm pretty comfortable it's going to stay the way it is. All right, last but not least, this is the last fund, and I promise the video will be over, and then you guys can go back to bed or back to work. TNA, I did have a put expiring yesterday. It was $15 strike. TNA closed at $22.52. Since it closed above the 15, obviously this expired worthless, and I get my $1,500 back. Then I had 2 calls on TNA expiring yesterday, 25 and 26. Since TNA closed at $22.52, which is below these call prices, these expired worthless, and now I can sell calls on these shares. So that's great, right? So let me highlight these gray, and then we'll say bye-bye since we covered them. This is the, oh, I don't want to move that like that. There you go. Got to be careful. Live. I don't want to screw anything up. All right. And then we got TNA for next week. This was a trade I opened the previous day, but yesterday I did a call. TNA was at $22.55. I sold a call at $25, 8 days out for expiration. This was 10.86% out of the money. Keep in mind, guys, that's not that far. That's not a big cushion for 5 trading days. But I said, you know what? I got to get a little more money here for the bang, right? And this was a 20 delta. That's pretty much my max, or it should be my max on these, because again, my cost basis is very high, and I do not want to get assigned. I did make 30 cents per share, or $30, and that yielded me approximately 60%. For the week, I made $83 in premium for TNA. All right, so that's pretty much it. Again, I'm not sure if you guys have any questions, but I will show you for the income-wise for the week. Again, not really anything fantastic, but I made $277 on an options premium. Capital needed for that was about $13,000, and that comes to an annualized yield about 110% overall. Which again, this is not fantastic money here, but it is what it is. At least I'm making money, even though my cost basis sucks, even though I'm underwater, even though I'm a bag holder, if that makes sense. All right, we are now at the hour mark. We are now completed with the video, so now it's just Q&A time. So let's go to the chat. See if you guys have any last questions. Okay, looking forward to the spreadsheet. Yeah, no problem, man. I'll get that out. Hopefully, I don't know, in a week or so. We'll see. There's Kieran. Good morning, Kieran. Good to have you, even though you're late. No, I'm just kidding. And good morning, Ray. All right, guys, any questions? There's 153 of you right now, and I'm about to shut off and go to work, but I will take any last-minute questions. Tesla and Coney is crazy. Yeah, I agree. They are crazy. But yeah, what else? And I think that's all I got. I think that's all I got for the day. Again, it's Good Friday. Hopefully you guys are off. I am not. It is what it is, right? Anyway, as always, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for fun and entertainment. So hopefully you had fun. Hopefully you're entertained. If not, then we'll try again tomorrow. If you enjoy this content, please hit the like button. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them in the comments below. Outside of that, it's keyword time. And guess what? Since we're live, the people that are live get to pick the keyword if I like it. Let's see. What do you got today, guys? Give me a keyword. All right. Have a good Friday, Randy. Have a good Friday, LA. Talk to you on your premiere. That's not a keyword, but thank you. Hell yeah. All right, that's the keyword. So Ray Meester wins Jumanji. So we used to Jumanji came out when I was in high school. I don't know. We had a joke with it. We just shook people's desks and be like, Jumanji's here. But anyway, guys, if you made it this far in the video and you want to prove it, you got to say the keyword. Keyword today is, thanks to Ray Meester, Jumanji, which is a great movie. Even the remake is great. So yeah, if you want to prove that you made it this far in the video to me and others, you have to type in Jumanji, and then you have to watch Jumanji. What do you think? All right, guys, thank you for joining the live stream. Thank you for watching after the video. Thank you for making it this far in the video. I do appreciate it. By the way, if you want to help out the channel even further, feel free to share the link of this video or link to the channel to friends, family, and other groups that you're in. All right? Sound good? LA, don't tell me you never saw Jumanji. Come on, man. All right, I'm out of here. Let me close up shop and let me start my day. All right? Have a good one. Again, no stock market today. So, well, I mean, what can we do, right? Can't make money, right? Just from our active income, I guess, or crypto. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you for watching and have a great day. Later.